Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through a sample I made earlier today. It was one of my first samples I've ever used using my electric guitar back there. You might be wondering why I'm not recording this live, is because this sample probably took me 2 hours to make because I'm not a very good guitar player and yeah, I'm still learning. So we're going to go through this one I made today. Do enjoy it. Let me know. Leave a comment as to what I should make next, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. So I started with something that isn't a guitar. I started with an expand patch. We'll go into here. I used the CP80 soft, we call it patch or like sound. Sounds super cool. I wanted like a Rhodesy piano, but this sounded more like a guitar than a piano to me, and it gave me a lot of inspiration for the sample to come. So this is what it sounds like. Awesome. I really like the vibe that this gave this. I got it by playing around on the MIDI keyboard here behind me. Super simple. It just goes from an A minor triad to a B. The B minor? Yeah, it is B minor. And it just goes back and forth, and then a little bit of a switch up at the end of each bar. And the root notes duplicated down to give it a bit more width. But I've turned the velocities down for the root notes because they were quite loud and I wanted to sort of be in the background. And also did Alt R to randomize the pan and the velocities. Next I used this serum bass. It's my Reese bass preset, but I just changed the saw wave to a sine wave, and I made the sub oscillator shape a triangle. And it sounds like this. Awesome. And the processing for these two, I just put a little bit of ozone imager and stereo width for the piano. Spiced it up a little bit. I also panned it to the left, and for this serum bass I also put a little bit of saturation with these settings. I turn the in down and the out up, and I use some tape distortion and also some of the B type distortion from 30 fast distortion, with the mix quite far down. So moving on to the actual guitar, the first thing I recorded was this bass pluck. It just follows the same notes as the serum patch with some variations at the end of each bar as well. Fairly simple, and it sounds like this. Super nice. And for the effects, I just put a little bit of compression just to even it out. A little tiny bit of Fruity Fast Distortion type D again with the mix turned down and the post turned down as well. And then some Decapitator Distortion, A type. I've got the punish on and the drive at 2 here. And I've also turned the mix level down a little bit to about 3/4. So yeah, after that, I added the lead guitar. This is the main melody, and it has quite a few effects on it. First up, we've got Fruity Flanges. It's just the default patch, but I've turned the wet down. We've got another instance of saturator, this time with a little bit of tube and tape. Again, I've turned the in down and the out up. Again, some Fruity Fast Distortion, but it's on type A this time with the mix turned fairway down again. Then we've got some Echo Boy on the distorted spring verb preset, and I've just turned the mix down a little bit as well. And then I've got some reverb with a very small size, and the wet up a little bit, and that was it for that one. And then I just added a little bit of stereo width to it as well. So with all those effects, this is what the lead sounds like. Very nice. So after that, I put on an instance of arcade. I just felt it needed some choir sounds, so I put up distant voices. We've got it in A minor obviously because that's the key, and it's undulate. It's this library in distant voices, of course, and it plays this very simple arrangement of notes. Very nice, very simple, just seems to tie it together. And finally, down here, this is the final sound. It's just this pattern up here, half timed, and this is what it sounds like. Very nice. Now, the next thing I did was a little bit of arrangement. So I've got the Serum, Expand, Arcade, and Halftime guitar in for the intro, and then a bit of a build up. We've just added in this top guitar as well and taken out the arcade. And then this was going to be the hook with the bass guitar, the lead guitar, and the expand. And then we have a bit of a verse here, both the guitars and arcade, and then finally, without the lower guitar, the lead guitar, expand, arcade, and then the halftime guitar. So all together, I spaced out the stems here, I've rendered it out, and this is what it sounds like all together. Alright, that's the melody. I'd say this is probably my first guitar melody that I recorded real time that I ended up putting drums on. Speaking of drums, let's go check those out. Here we are in the full track file. We've got the honeycomb sample dragged in, pitched down to 300 cents, down to F sharp minor. I decided to have a triplet hi-hat bounce for this beat for some Lil Baby type vibes. Check it out. Here we have just a regular snare. Put in an accent snare here, and I've some triplet rolls in the accent snare here as well, just for some extra bounce. Check it out. Very nice. Simple hi-hat. Moving on to the meat and potatoes, we've got the kick here. Very simple, punches pretty hard. Now for the hook here, we've actually got two 808s in this track. I decided to do this just to give it a little bit of variation. I like the sound of it. So this first 808 that we've got in the hook here sounds like this. Really dark, low key. I like it a lot. Crunchyroll 808 is not an 808 I usually use, but it has this belly to it that a lot of 808s don't have, and I just like how it sort of has a second wind. Like it kicks and then it sort of has a thickness to it. This is the second one I used for the verses. Less in your face for the verse obviously, but still a very nice 808. So it just follows the exact same pattern as the 808 in the hook, but it sounds like this instead. Super dope. And we'll just cover the arrangement pretty quick. We've got 16 bar intro here with just the sample and then the hi-hat and clap coming in. Then we've got 16 bar verse here with hi-hat, main 808, kick, snare, open hat, everything except the last bar of the hi-hat is taken out just to drop us into the second part of the hook with everything going except for the verse 808. And then we move into the verse, which is actually 24 bars. So we've got, for the first half here, we've got the 808 coming in first, then the kick after 2 beats, and then the hi-hat snare and accent snare coming in the second half of the first 8 bars. And then we transition into a lower energy part, arguably the lowest energy part in the whole song, with just the snare and the pug 808. And then we go into just the hair and the the hair, the snare, and the hi-hat here like we have at the end of the intro. But this time, again, we drop out the last bar of the hi-hat to build up some anticipation. And then once we get into the start of the hook, we've got the classic 1 bar on, 1 bar off drop. That sounds like this. Super clean. And then halfway through the hook again, the hi-hat cuts out and then it just repeats itself, and we have the snare and this sample in for the outro while we have a master fade from 0 dB all the way down to 0, and that is the whole track. Super simple. Hopefully we'll be using some more guitar in the future. I really enjoy making these samples. Some are more fulfilling than just using VSTs inside the box. I can really understand why people get addicted to hardware. I know guitars are a bit different to synths and all that type of stuff, but still enjoyable nonetheless. So if you like the video, like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Hit the bell notification to be notified next time I post a video. And if you enjoyed, let me know. Like I said at the start of the video, if you have any other video ideas, hit me in the comment section. Let me know. I hope you're doing well wherever you're watching from, and I wish you all the best. I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy, take care, and goodbye.